When you think about starting a garden, the first thing your brain does is pull up this like mental blueprint of your yard.
Oh, definitely.
You start carving out these massive horizontal rectangles, like you're playing Tetris with your lawn.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out where the sun hits and what grass you have to tear up.
Right, it's a total land grab. You end up sacrificing a huge chunk of your outdoor living space to just, well, dirt and heavy wood frames before you even plant a single seed.
Exactly. But what if that blueprint didn't have to be flat?
Yeah.
That's what we're unpacking in today's deep dive.
Yeah.
We're looking at a presentation from Marla Hodge Parker. It's from March 21st called Food for Thought, all about the Juice Plus Tower Garden.
Right. The goal here is to see if this vertical aeroponic technology can actually replace the traditional raised bed and help you maximize sustainable homegrown nutrition.
Right. And early in the presentation, she poses this direct challenge, urging you to redeem your ground.
She really does. And the visual contrast they provide to illustrate that.
Oh, it's incredibly stark.
Yeah. On one side, you have classical raised beds, these sprawling, dirt-filled boxes just dominating a yard. And on the other, the Tower Garden FLEX system, which literally just goes straight up.
And the metric they use to back up that visual is what really caught my attention.
Uh-huh.
Using 3 of these Tower Garden systems takes up a mere 15 square feet of patio space.
Just 15 square feet.
Right. But the actual crop yield is equivalent to a 75 square foot traditional garden.
That is wild.
It makes me think of city planning, honestly. Like when a city runs out of horizontal space, they stop building out and start building skyscrapers instead of, contributing to inefficient urban sprawl.
That's a great way to look at it.
So does this vertical shift fundamentally change our definition of what a backyard garden can even be?
I mean, it forces a total redefinition. And the reason we can build these agricultural skyscrapers isn't just because we're stacking dirt higher.
Right, there's no dirt.
Exactly. It comes down to how the aeroponic technology actually works. To break it down simply, aeroponics is essentially growing plants in midair with a nutrient-rich mist.
Wow.
Yeah, there's absolutely no soil. Instead, you have a low wattage pump that pushes a mixture of water and nutrients to the very top of the tower.
Okay.
And then it just cascades down, creating this continuous internal rainstorm over the exposed plant roots.
So because those roots aren't fighting through heavy compacted dirt to find moisture or oxygen.
You don't have to work as hard, yeah.
Right, so the plant can direct all its energy into growing upward and outward.
Exactly. That highly oxygenated environment means the system efficiently grows bigger plants while requiring, significantly less water.
Which is amazing.
And when you realize that engineering allows for that much growth in a small area, it explains how the system claims to feed the whole family.
Yeah.
The hardware is incredibly modular to support that.
Let's talk about that hardware.
Mm-hmm.
The presentation highlights the use of 3 extension kits.
Right.
And we aren't just talking about adding a few extra lettuce leaves here. Those extensions allow you to scale up and grow a massive total of 84 plants distributed across those 3 towers.
It's a staggering volume of food for a 15 square foot footprint.
It really is. And it supports diverse crops too, not just lightweight leafy greens.
Yeah, because the system includes built-in support cages.
Oh, right.
They are designed explicitly for heavy vining plants, so you can grow substantial crops. Things like cucumbers and tomatoes.
Without them just collapsing the whole tower.
Exactly, or cascading all over your deck. The cage essentially replaces the flimsy traditional garden trellis.
Okay, but getting those 84 plants started requires a totally different approach than ripping open a bag of potting soil.
It does.
The system comes with a seedling starter kit. It includes your seeds and a tray, but crucially it uses rock wool and net pots.
Right.
For anyone who hasn't encountered these, rock wool is this porous, spun fiber material. It's almost like a dense cotton candy made from melted rock.
Yeah, it's really unique. It holds water while letting the roots breathe.
And the net pots are simply little plastic mesh containers that sit in the tower. They allow the roots to grow freely through the holes right into that internal rainstorm we talked about.
That's it, exactly.
Here's where I have to push back a bit, though.
Okay, sure.
We're talking about spun, rock wool, plastic net pots, internal rainstorms. Doesn't this feel somewhat disconnected from the traditional, romantic idea of getting your hands in the dirt?
Well,
are we losing a connection to nature, or is this simply the necessary evolution of agriculture?
I mean, the romantic idea of traditional soil gardening usually involves battling unpredictable moisture levels, poor soil quality, and pests.
True, weeding is never fun.
Right. It's romantic right up until your tomatoes get blight from the dirt.
Fair point.
The targeted delivery system of aeroponics removes that guesswork and, the heavy physical labor. It is a highly controlled environment prioritizing the plant's health and the grower's ease.
So focusing on the actual end goal.
Exactly, reliable nutrition.
Ultimately, what the Tower Garden offers you is a highly efficient, space-saving alternative to those sprawling raised beds.
Yeah.
You trade the dirt and the massive yard footprint for vertical, precision-fed agriculture. It maximizes your yield while minimizing the resources you consume.
You are getting back your lawn without sacrificing the harvest.
Think about that 15 square feet on a patio or balcony. If a footprint that small can reliably replace a massive 75 square foot traditional garden,
It's a game changer.
it really is. And how might the widespread adoption of personal home-based aeroponics eventually disrupt our reliance on the commercial grocery store supply chain?
Now, that is a huge question.
Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.